Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, kids. How are you? How's everything?
Fine.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, dear.
Ma'am, 1.5 pages.
Yeah, today we'll be finishing off the chapter, I think. Okay. So kindly get ready without even wasting a minute so that we can start it quickly. Yeah. You need to give
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. So, children, first of all, I would like to know that whatever we have read till now, is it that all well understood and clear, or do you have any doubts in that?
No doubts, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
You have a
Good
doubt?
afternoon,
ma'am. Good afternoon, Arshia.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, any doubts, beta? Anybody is having a doubt? No. Cool then. So let's get started. And I did not receive any, that the medieval coins which I told you people about.
Actually, when I made coins, like it was not drying up. So today it dried up. So I will send it by today evening.
The people of 7A and B have done a wonderful job. They have made very nice coins.
Ma'am, which one is good in this?
Abhiral has said
Ma'am,
as well. Both of them are looking
Yes.
good. Both of them are looking good.
Okay, ma'am.
Nice.
And ma'am, these are my coins. I have to paint them.
Nice, nice. Wow, nice, Arshia. What about others? What's the progress of yours?
Ma'am,
sir.
I didn't. Ma'am, at that day I am absent. So can you tell me again what to do?
At that day, I was absent, ma'am. Not I am absent. Okay.
I was absent. Sorry, by
Yes,
mistake.
and we were supposed to, like you people were, I showed them a video, right, in which they have shown that how to make medieval coins and the manuscripts as well. So these people have made the medieval coins and the manuscripts. Like they have not made, they were supposed to make. Right, children? So kids, where do we have to begin from?
Ma'am, the last page was left.
No, we have not done this
Good
much.
afternoon.
Like, have we completed our?
Ma'am, we have to start.
Yes.
Ma'am, we have to start with this page.
Okay, fine. So we were talking of Awadh, and we have discussed the first two paragraphs, like first two paragraphs, in which we read and learned that okay, Sadat Khan became the emperor. He was crowned as the emperor, like or as the ruler of that state, right? And he brought few changes in the state, right? He reduced the number of jagirs, and he appointed his own servants as jagirdars instead of hiring the same people who were appointed by the Mughals, right? Now, like Bengal, they also made use of revenue farmers called Ijradas to assess and collect the revenue. Assess means to just calculate how much revenue needs to be collected, and accordingly they collected that. New social groups like moneylenders and bankers came to influence the management of the state's revenue system because they provided guarantee of the amount to be paid by the revenue farmers, which had not happened in the past. In the past, they have not got any, we can say that as such, any guarantee as such. Okay, children. So that is why now these people changed
Yes,
these
ma'am.
things and they started appointing revenue farmers and money lenders, like people who were giving them guarantee that now we are going to get you the revenue anyhow. All revenue will be collected, right? So Safdar Jung, who succeeded Sadat Khan, was appointed as the Wazir of Mughal Empire. What is the significance of a Wazir?
He is the second most important person after the king.
Yes, after the king, he becomes the
Yes.
second most person.
Yes, ma'am.
So here we can say that apart from the Mughal Empire, Awadh came to be known as the second most important kingdom, right? Or the very important, the most important kingdom of the Mughal Empire. So Sadr Khan was appointed as a Wazir of the Mughal Empire and granted the province of Allahabad as well by the Mughal Emperor in 1748. Right? So it was given to him as a grant, as a gift. Okay, to whom?
Ma'am,
Sadat
Sardar
Khan.
Jung.
Sadat.
Sadat Khan, right? From
Sadat Khan.
1748, the Nawab Wazirs, since Safdar and his successor held both Nawabship of the Awadh and Wazirship of the Mughal empires, they came to be known as what? The Nawab Wazirs. What they came to be known as? The Nawabs of Awadh came to be known as
Nawab Wazirs.
Nawab Wazirs, because they were holding both Nawabship and Wazirship as well. Safdar Jung's help in conquest against Rohillas, Jats, and Marathas resulted in extension of his territory. As Safdar helped the Mughals to fight against Rohillas, Jats, and the Marathas, the Mughals, after being impressed by their work, always given them grants in the forms of land, so that because of this, they were able to extend their territories, they were able to expand their empire, like the kingdom. Next came Shuja-ud-Dawla, again a very important name in the history of India, right? Shuja-ud-Dawla, who was son of Safdar, succeeded to the Nawabship of Awadh as well as the Wazirship of Mughal Empire in 1754 after Safdar Khan, right? After Safdar Jung. So, yes, children, one thing I want to ask again: who was appointed as the Wazir of Mughal Empire?
Ma'am, Sardar Jung.
Sadat
Safdar
Khan.
Jung, not Shadat Khan, no. Safdar Jung. Safdar Jung was appointed as the Wazir, not the Sadat Khan. Okay. Got it? Safdar Jung, who succeeded Sadat Khan, was appointed as the Wazir of Mughal Empire, not Sadat Khan. Right? Got it?
It's the introduction of Safdar Jung.
Yeah, it's the introduction of Safdar Jung. So it was Safdar Jung who was appointed as the Wazir of Mughal Empire, not Sadat Khan. And after Safdar Jung came Shuja-ud-Dawla, right? He succeeded in Nawabship and Wazirship both. He was also involved in the Battle of Buxar, which took place in 1764. And children, please highlight it, make stars over it. It is a very important battle in the history of
ma'am.
right? When the Britishers came to India, they first had the Battle of Plassey, then they had Battle of Buxar, and both of these battles, the Battle of Plassey and the Battle of Buxar, have proved to be very helpful or very major battles, or provided them a way to enter the political arena of India. After winning these battles only, the Britishers have also gained political power in India. Right? Earlier they were only in trade. They came to a part of Indian politics after winning these two battles. Okay? Clear?
Yes, ma'am, clear.
Right.
Yes, ma'am, clear.
Now, after losing in the Battle of Buxar, he also lost Allahabad and Kara, the two provinces of his kingdom, and he had to pay a huge indemnity to the British. What is the meaning of indemnity?
Tax.
Tax, yes. You can also call it as a penalty, a tax. Why, right? When you're participating in a war, it is very obvious that there's about to be a lot of destruction, right? Monetary, okay, like destruction of people, personal, and of things as well. So for all the loss which the winner has occurred, the losing kingdom had to pay for it. Similarly here,
Yes, ma'am.
Shuja-ud-Dawla had to pay a huge indemnity and had to enter into a defensive alliance. And it is a very famous alliance if you have heard of it. Have you heard of the subsidiary alliance, children? Have you heard of the subsidiary alliance, kids?
No, ma'am.
You are going to read these two terms, like very strict and very stupid policies of the Britishers, you can say. this defensive alliance came out to be known as
Stupid,
subsidiary alliance.
uh,
And these are the
very
ways, right? These are
clever
the-
policy.
Hanji? Yeah, these are the ways in which the Britishers used to know capture land with the help
If
of these
they were,
alliances only.
these were stupid policies, so how Indians came in this policy?
See, the thing is, these were stupid but very cunning policies. Now, under this policy, what did they say? Now, listen to the policy. The policy was that, see, you come into an alliance with us, we will provide you protection. Already, he's like right now, Awadh kingdom was a Ghayal Sher, right? Ghayal Sher as in, they have already suffered loss in one battle, right? Now, it was not like that the wars have stopped. No, we know at that point of time in India, wars were going on continuously, not only with the Indian kings, but also with the foreign powers like the French, the British, and this and that, right? So, and he also had had incurred a huge loss. He needed some strong military. So Britishers told him that we will provide you an alliance. Come into an alliance with us. Under this alliance, what will we do is we will send our military troops to your kingdom, right? Our military troops will be stationed at your kingdom. They'll stay at your kingdom, protect your kingdom, right? अभी तक ये हमें beneficially लग रही है, right?
Ma'am, so much beneficiary cannot be any policy.
Then,
How
but
could
in return of it, you have to pay us the expenses whichever will be incurred in training those people. Their salaries, their training, their food, and everything. This you have to pay to us. Got
what's
it?
the benefit?
You are getting a trained army with all the developed equipments which you do not have right
But
now. That's the
if we have to
benefit.
pay for it, so we can train our own men only.
That is the thing, right now they do
They
not
would
have
have
some
trained
skill
this.
because they have just lost a war. They have lost all the skilled personnel they have. They're left with only few. And if they'll start training them again, then again a lot of time will be taken. They cannot train them overnight, right? Training needs some time.
They targeted Britishers targeted the kingdoms that were weak.
Exactly. They just know they put the hammer on the weakest part. Okay. So that's what they did. And along with that, one resident of Britishers was also supposed to stay in the court of the king. One person will stay in the palace of the king, will also be a part of all the discussions and will stay in the court of the king along with all the nobles, which again was
all
very wrong.
secret plans also exposed.
Exactly. And they said this.
So that
This was also part of the policy that you cannot fight with anyone, you cannot come into alliance with anyone else without discussing with us. Without discussing with the Britishers, they cannot enter into an alliance with somebody else, or they cannot even go for a battle with somebody else like that. If they have to do it, they have to discuss it with the Britishers first. That's how they ruled us, right? So Shujaa Dwala met Warren Hastings and concluded the Treaty of Benares, whereby Kar and Allahabad was sold to the Nawab. Like you can see, the Nawab had to buy back his own provinces. He had to buy them back. He had to pay money to get them back. Okay. Now, as a result, the British troops were also stationed at Awadh to protect the Nawab. Right, children? Can you see the same thing has come which I just told you?
yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Yes. So they were stationed at the kingdom. Okay. And to protect the Nawab, for which he had to pay a subsidy to the British. The subsidy refers to the amount which he had to pay to the Britishers. Got it, children?
Okay, ma'am.
Right? So this is what subsidiary alliance is. This must have been given in the book about subsidiary alliance specifically. Right, no issues, we'll be reading about them in class 8. So he defeated the Rohillas with the help of the British and annexed Rohilkhand to Awadh in 1774, right? Now the Nawab defeated the Rohillas and acquired Rohilkhand into Awadh. Rohilkhand also became a part of the Awadh in 1774. Do you know that we are living in Rohilkhand today? Are you aware of it? No? Bareilly and all its neighboring cities and towns are a part of Rohilkhand. That is why University of Bareilly is termed as which university?
Ma'am, Rohilkhand.
Rohilkhand University. It was set up by the Britishers back then. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, so
Yes,
the
ma'am.
state of Awadh was finally annexed by Lord Dalhousie, another very, very important name in the history of India, like one of the very important viceroys of the Britishers. So Lord Dalhousie annexed Awadh in 1856. Wazir Ali Shah, who was the last ruler, was pensioned off and deported to Calcutta. And do you know on what grounds they did that? They said that this ruler, already they had extorted the ruler way too much, right? As a mute yourself. Who's it? Kavya was it?
Ma'am, I don't know, ma'am, from where that sound came.
Okay, fine.
I think
So what from where the sound is coming?
It was from Kavya's mic, but he didn't
No,
know.
Ma'am,
ma'am,
now
it
it's
was
okay.
not from Kavya's
Ma'am,
mic.
actually my tablet is on charging. Ma'am, that is why. Ma'am, now it's okay.
Fine. Yeah, it's fine now. Okay. So yes, like I was telling you, Wazir Ali Shah was already like, see, Britishers have already extracted most of the wealth from this kingdom called Awadh, and now they were also ruling it indirectly. And later on, when Wazir Ali Shah was like, there were some problems going on in Awadh. So what the Britishers do, they said that okay, Wazir Ali Shah is not efficient enough to rule the kingdom. So they pensioned him off. They gave him, they said, okay, aap chaliye, aap retire ho jaiye, now we will handle your kingdom. So they retired him up. They sent him to Calcutta, which is way too far away from Awadh, so that he cannot even interfere in the daily things going on. And they kept on giving them a pension. That's how they acquired Awadh. That's how Awadh came under the Britishers. It became a province of the Britishers. Yes, Hassan.
Ma'am, if he would be a good king, he would have sent some of his Guptachars to that kingdom so that they could keep a track of the what's going on in the kingdom.
If you really think so, he was not getting to know anything, then that's not right. He, like, see, the kings also tried, but then again they were so indulged in the rivalry going on with all the kings that they did not even bother, or they did not even give it a thought that okay, these Britishers could also be our enemies only, not a friend. There's only one king who thought so, which was Tipu Sultan. Tipu Sultan never befriended these people. He was very much aware that these people are not to be trusted. Right? Okay. Clear? So is everything clear about Awadh now?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, disturbance is coming. Whose mic is it?
Ma'am, now Kavya is not Michael.
I know.
Just do not know who is it.
Nobody is asking that you know or not.
Children, if you get to see from whose mic it is coming, please let me know.
Ma'am, I know.
Whose mic?
Ma'am, I don't want to take the name.
Ma'am, today also ma'am, my mic is not echoing. I'm not joining from my laptop.
Fine, leave it. Yes. So, children, is it all clear about Awadh? Shall we begin to talk about Hyderabad now?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. Any doubts? Anything you want to ask? Anything you want to ask? Tell me, is there anything you want to ask about?
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Then let's begin with Hyderabad. Right, children? So the state of Hyderabad was founded by Nizam Mulk Asaf Shah in 1724. Right? Clear? After the death of Aurangzeb, Mughal power weakened considerably. This we have read in the beginning of the chapter only, that after Aurangzeb, the Mughal empire began to diminish. Right? And the Mughal empress was unable to punish the Nizam. They couldn't do that. He has just asserted his independence. They were not that efficient that they could punished the Nizam. The Nizam confirmed as the viceroy of the Deccan clan and granted the title of Ashraf Jah, right? Okay, and then he also did what? Yeah, he also became practically independent, though he continued to recognize the Mughal emperor as his sovereign. He was like, no, no. Like he always said that the Mughal emperor is my overlord and I'm working under his leadership.
क्यों? बस ये करके बस कर दो.
Prakhar, your mic is on. Prakhar Kumar, kindly mute yourself. Right. Okay. So yeah, he became like practically he was taking all the decisions by himself. He was not considering anyone, not asking him before taking his decisions. But just to know, just to make the king or make the Mughal happy, he said that no, he is my overlord and I'm working under his leadership. But rest, the major decisions were taken by himself only. He was not asking the emperor anything about it. Right? Asaf Jah was able to garner the success of many commanders, skills, and administrators from the northern who exploited the new opportunities in the south. Right? All those commanders and all those administrators who were not able to do the things rightly, who were not able to perform particularly, he took them out. He appointed Mansabdars and granted them Jagirs. Instead of having Jagirdars, another name you can say for that, he appointed few Mansabdars and granted them some Jagirs. He did not face interference from the Mughal emperor, but merely confirmed his decisions. He said that, okay, I am doing this, I'm going to do that. He did not ask the Mughal emperor, right? Neither the Mughal emperor did anything like that. He did not even interfere in his work. He let them do whatever he was doing. So the reforms initiated by him included establishment of peace and security by suppressing all the disastering nobles and putting down theft, robbery, right? He just stopped all these things. He put efforts to stop the plundering raids of the Marathas, though partially successful. He could not be successful entirely in that. And the revival of agricultural industry by giving incentives to the craftsmen. These are the few things which he had done for the betterment of his kingdom, the Hyderabad province. Is it clear? Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now let's go through this passage as well. This is very nice. They have just simply stated few things about the French Revolution and the American Revolution. Who will read it? Raise your hands. Okay, Rachit.
In Europe and America, until the late 18th century, people did not have much say in the functioning of the government. First of all, the Americans and the French challenged the social and political privileges and enjoyed by the aristocrats in their own country. During the French Revolution, the middle classes, peasants, and artisans fought against the special rights enjoyed by the clergy and the nobility.
It's clergy.
Clergy and the nobility, they believed that aristocrats should not enjoy privileges based on birth. The philosophers held that the authority of the government should come from the people who must possess the right to participate in its affairs. The American Revolution 1776 and the French Revolution 1789 gave the people citizenship rights and status and paved the way for the democratic governments. The democratic movement of the late 18th century proclaimed the principles of popular sovereignty. Even today in Paris, the word liberté, egalite, fraternité, that is liberty, equality,
Yes, continue.
equality and fraternity, which were the slogans of the French Revolution, are enshrined in the basic philosophy of the government and the citizens.
Citizens. Let's say citizens.
Citizens.
Citizens. So basically here they have talked about the French and the American Revolution. So children, if you know that these two revolutions have had a very major impact in spreading the ideas such as democracy, liberty in all the country. Okay. Have you read, do you have any idea about these revolutions? I think French Revolution you must have heard of or no? Nothing?
Ma'am, French
Okay, fine.
Revolution, ma'am, Revolution I've heard.
What?
Where?
Ma'am, I have heard of French Revolution.
Fine, you are going to read this in class, what, in class 9. Okay, in class 9 you will be reading about it. So basically, in this, they have said that in Europe and America until the late 18th century, people have no say. Like people were like just, they were also subjects of the kings. They have no say in the working of the government, what's going on, what right they should have. They had no rights. You know what? Even the French society was divided into 3 estates. There was the first estate, the second estate, and third estate. The first estate belonged to the clergy. Do you know the meaning of clergy, children?
Ma'am, rich.
Clergy refers to the priests in the church, the fathers and the bishops which you have in the churches, no? They were known as priests. What were they known as?
Priests.
Priests. Right. So they were known as priests, and the nobles, second estate was of the nobles, which refers to all the members of the court, the aristocrats, right? The people who sit in the king's court, and they have some by birth privileges. But the people of the third estate included businessmen, traders, workers, okay, farmers, landowners, and when it comes to paying taxes, the first estate and the second estate were exempted from the taxes, and only the third estate had to pay the taxes. The third estate were the poor persons, and they were supposed to pay the taxes, whereas the richer ones were just sitting and enjoying their wealth. Was it right?
No,
Was it
ma'am.
all right?
Wrong.
Right? So
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
what the people revolted against, right? All these people during the French Revolution, the middle class, peasants, artisans, they all fight against all these things, right? And the philosophers held the authority of government should come from people, right? We must have the people's rule, right? Not only of somebody else's. Similarly, the American Revolution and French Revolution gave people citizenship rights, status, and paved the way for democratic governments. So all the ideas of democracy, liberty, fraternity, equality, what are the things which we very highly talk about of now? All these things have been borrowed from the American and French Revolution and their constitutions, right? These people, these philosophers gave us these ideas, right? So even today in Paris, the words liberté, égalité, fraternité, that is liberty, equality, and fraternity, which were slogans of French Revolution, are enshrined in the basic philosophy of the government and the citizens, and so as in our constitution as well. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
If I ask you, what kind of government
Yes,
does India
ma'am.
have now, Ria?
Ma'am, please repeat.
What kind of government does India have now?
Democratic.
It is
Democratic.
democratic. Do you think it is founded upon the principles of liberty, fraternity, and equality? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
It is. Now, if I
Yes,
ask
ma'am.
about the theory of absolute monarchy and democracy, will you be able to differentiate between the two?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Monarchy and democratic.
Absolute
Democracy.
Yes,
monarchy
ma'am.
and democracy.
Yes.
Ma'am, England is a monarchy.
Who is saying that? Kavya, India is a monarchy, beta. Is it?
Ma'am,
No, I think England, he is saying.
England. England is a constitutional monarchy, beta. Not a monarchy. It's a constitutional monarchy. They have the constitution, they have a prime minister, but then again, they have their overlord as well, who's the queen. That's known as the like even the queen's powers are bounded by the constitution. So such democracies are known as, or such monarchies are known as constitutional monarchy. Okay.
May you tell few more examples of constitutional monarchy?
Constitutional
Ma'am,
monarchy, the example can be like if we can talk about the
Ma'am,
French Revolution.
Brunei. Ma'am, Brunei.
UAE, whether there is no to democracy and the powers are also they do whatever they want to.
Ma'am,
They're
that's
not
too,
abiding by it.
that's not
complete
democratic.
monarchy. Anji,
Yes, ma'am.
that's complete
Ma'am,
monarchy.
UAE don't have
Whether it is
democracy.
UAE, whether it's North Korea, they're
Ma'am,
complete
I'm not saying
monarchies.
UAE. Ma'am, I'm saying Brunei.
What?
Ma'am, I'm just typing this country name in chat box.
Ukraine? Are you saying Ukraine?
No, ma'am.
Brunei.
Brunei? I haven't heard of
Brunei.
it, but I have no
Which
idea
country is
about it.
that?
Exactly. Okay, so yes, or you can say like there are not many constitutional monarchy like French Revolution. We can like French. We can say that once like when the before democracy came, so they like they just brought it gradually, slowly. So first they wanted to limit the powers of the monarch. So first they brought a constitutional monarchy, right? And then slowly, gradually, the emperor was completely removed, and it became a democracy. Right, absolute monarchy is like North Korea. There is absolute rule of the king. Just right, if you people are aware, a few days ago, the emperor of North Korea declared that for 10 days nobody can laugh or be happy or celebrate anything.
Ma'am, like
North
it's the
Korea.
weirdest rule in the whole world, only in North Korea.
Exactly.
Like he makes anything.
Yes,
He
ma'am.
there it's a rule that you cannot celebrate Father's Day and Mother's Day just because
So
he thinks
weird.
they love him. In fact, if they will celebrate, they will love their parents. But if they will not, they will love him.
You know
I
what?
don't know what's the logic.
They are not even able to have the same haircut as the monarch. Nobody can have that haircut.
Yes,
Which the
ma'am.
monarch has. So they're very weird rules. That's what monarchies are about, no? The kings do whatever they want to, right? When in democracy, it's not like that. In an absolute monarchy, the citizens are not the citizens; they are mere the subjects of the king. Whereas a democracy gives the status of a citizen, right? The respect, the rights. Okay, we get the rights, the citizen rights in democracy, which we do not have in monarchy. We are not participating in the policy making in the monarchy, whereas we do participate in policy making in the government making in democracy. Yes, Hassan.
Ma'am, like in England, there is a queen also, and there is a prime
That is
minister
what I
also.
told you.
So,
That is known
how
as
is
a constitutional monarchy, beta.
no, I am asking that how is the selection of the queen done?
Queen is not selected, beta. Haven't you know that already? Queen, they are hereditary, but they are not selected like that. From generation, it
So
passes from
how?
generation to generation. They are hereditary. All the kings and queens, that's how they work. That's how monarchies are. If they'll select, then it may become a dictator sign of a thing. But no, there is no dictatorship. There is nothing like that. Queen refers to queens are born from dynasties, right? Even till date, we have many kings as well in a country. It's not like the kings have already completely eloped. They are still here. It's just that now they do not have the status which they used to have it back in the medieval era, right? Now, when the king is going to cast his vote, the king is equal to me and you. He's equal to us. That's the wonder which democracy does, right? Shall we do the exercises quickly, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
No.
shut up. Do it quickly.
Hassan is always the one who says no.
Right. The first question is
You see the
the Jat
time.
kingdom attained its. This is very important. The Jat kingdom, I told you, no? This is very important line. The Jat kingdom attained
Yes,
its
ma'am.
zenith under
Surajmal.
Ma'am,
Yes,
Surajmal.
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 Very good. Again, see all the things I told you. Important questions have been framed from that. Second is
Yes,
Dash
ma'am.
were defeated in the third battle of Panipat.
Marathas.
Marathas.
Marathas. Very good. Next is Dash, the ruler of Iran, plundered the city of Delhi in 1739 and carried away with him immense wealth.
Nadir Shah.
Nadir Shah.
Very good. Nadir Shah. Next is it was Dash who transformed the Sikhs into a warrior community.
And
Guru
Guru
Gobind
Gobind
Singh.
Guru Gobind Singh.
Yeah, Guru Gobind Singh, right. Guru Gobind Singh. Next is the state of Hyderabad was founded by
Nizam Mulk Asaf
Nizam
Jah.
Mulk Asaf Jah.
Nizam Mulk Asaf Jah. Next is, after Shivaji's death, the effective control of Maratha kingdom fell into the hands of
Peshwas.
Peshwas.
Peshwa.
Peshwa.
Peshwas. Next is, Dash was an additional levy of 10% demanded from areas outside the Maratha kingdom.
Sardeshmukhi.
Sardeshmukhi.
Very good.
Sardesh-
Sardeshmukhi.
Sardeshmukhi.
Well done. Next is, Dash looked into the income and expenditure of the Maratha state.
Mazumdar.
Shivaji.
Mazumdar.
What? What did you say, Kavya?
Ma'am, Shivaji.
No. Mazumdar.
Mazumdar.
Next is, Jat kingdom reached its zenith under Dash in 1669.
And
Ma'am,
Surajmal.
Gokul. Ma'am, Gokula.
Its zenith.
Ma'am, it's Gokula.
Ma'am, can you
It
tell
is
again?
given in the first MCQ.
Yes, ma'am. It
But
is.
the year mentioned is 1690, 1669.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, it is
And
Gokul
in the
only.
Judge Kingdom, it is written that Gokul in 1669. And when Surajmal time period is given 1756 and 1765.
Yes,
No.
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Just a minute.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, it's
Yes,
given in
ma'am.
the last paragraph.
Ma'am, yes.
Yeah. Then we can go
Given.
for that. 1669, and after it came under Shuraman, Jay Singh, Surajmal, attained its zenith. Okay, fine. Then you will write him only. You will write Gokul, right? Gokul will come. But I think the question is wrongly framed then, no? Because under Gokul, it did not attain its zenith.
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
It was
Because
just started.
Zenith, then it must be Surajmal.
Exactly. If they're talking about zenith, then it must be Surajmal.
And ma'am, year and then it should be Gokula.
If we are talking about Jet Kingdom,
Right, at Gokul only since 1669. Because he was
and
not there
Gokul
only.
slash
Yeah, you write
Surajmal.
Gokul. You write Gokul only, but you cannot write Surajmal because he was not present there. No? How can we write that? He was not there only. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
right. Next is, the regional power arose in Hyderabad under Dash after decline of Mughal Empire.
Ma'am, Aurangzeb.
Or
Nizam Mulk Asaf Jah.
Nizam, yes. Nizam ul Kasaf.
Nizam.
Shall we do true or false quickly as well?
Ma'am, did we have to write the
Yes,
full name?
ma'am.
as your
Yeah, you
wish.
have to write the full name, children everywhere.
Okay.
Next is, Nadir
Okay,
Shah
ma'am.
invaded India 5 times between 1748 and 1761.
True.
Be very
True.
particular about the dates, right? Just cross check the dates.
Yes, ma'am. 5 times is correct, but date should be
Yeah,
also
also correct.
Checked.
Yes, correct. Fine. So first one is true. Next is, the Jat kingdom attained its zenith under Surajmal.
again.
True.
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 Right. Next is, Shivaji emphasized on agriculture improvement, thus benefiting all peasants.
Ma'am, it's true.
True only. Why so confused, Rachel?
No, ma'am.
Next is, the Marathas seized Malwa and Gujarat from the Mughals.
Ma'am, true.
Are you serious, Kavya?
Ma'am, false. Ma'am,
It is false.
they were seized by the Mughals.
Yes, they were seized by the Mughals. So it is false. Next is, Murshid Quli Khan transferred the capital of Awadh from Dhaka to Murshidabad.
And false.
Yes, there's only one glitch in it. Very
Awadh
tiny
is
thing.
false.
Instead of Awadh, it will
Ma'am,
be.
what is the group?
Bengal.
Bengal.
Now quickly send in your work. Hurry up.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
ma'am. Ma'am, sending.
Ma'am, excuse me.
Yes. Hurry up, the meeting is about to end. Speak up quickly. Who is it?
Ma'am, Punita.
Punita.
Eight, Punita. The meeting is about to end.
Yes, ma'am. I'm saying that. Can you please tell me the third true false?
What is the question? I'm
It's
just
true.
interested.
Ma'am, it's true.
G exercise.
Yeah,
True
it is
false.
true.
So,
Okay, ma'am.
Send in
I
your
have
work,
just a
children,
doubt.
all of you.
Okay.
Hurry
ma'am.
up. Send in it. Send it in. Click the picture and send the work of exercise.